It usually doesn't start with money. It starts with attention, a kind message from someone who finds you interesting. They ask about your day, and they actually listen. They text good morning before anyone else does, and good night after everyone else has gone quiet. For someone who has been lonely, maybe a widow or a widower, maybe just someone the world stopped checking in on, that warmth feels like a window opening in a room that had gone cold. And here is the hard truth I want to start with, gently. The same scam that begins with that warmth is, year after year, one of the costliest frauds aimed at older Americans. Not because the people it hurts are foolish, but because it is built, very deliberately, to feel exactly like love. I want to walk you through this one calmly, because there is no fear here, only a plan. I'm going to show you how this kind of relationship is built, step by step, so you can see the shape of it even when your heart is involved. Then, I'm going to give you the defense. And here's the one thing to hold on to from the start. By the end of this video, you'll have one line, one simple rule, that ends a scam like this no matter how real it feels, plus a quiet second step you can take without anyone ever knowing. I'll put it right in your hands before we're done, so stay with me. And before we go a single step further, let me say the most important thing. If this has already happened to you or to someone you love, you did nothing wrong. These schemes are designed by professionals to work on the most generous, trusting part of a good person. The shame belongs to the scammer, every bit of it, not to you. So let me show you how it's built. The FTC calls these romance scams, and the numbers are sobering, though I'll keep them in their place. In one recent year, the agency tracked people reported losing more than $1 billion to romance scams, with a typical loss right around $2,000 per person, the highest typical loss of any imposter scam category that year. And when older adults are caught by one of these, they tend to lose more than younger people do. I tell you that not to frighten you, but so you understand this is not rare, and it is not you. It is an industry. Here's where it usually begins. Sometimes it's a dating app, but just as often, the FTC says it's an out-of-the-blue message on social media, on Facebook, in your photo comments, even in an online game. Someone reaches out about a shared interest, a hometown, your smile. There's no warning sign yet. It just feels like a nice surprise. And that's the point. The connection comes first, long before anything else. Then comes the part the scammer is counting on. Speed. The affection arrives faster than real life usually moves. Within days, they're calling you special. Within a week or two, they may be saying they love you, talking about a future, calling you their soulmate. The flood of affection is designed to get you emotionally invested before your good sense has time to catch up. So if it feels like a whirlwind, that is not destiny. That is the technique. And here's the tell that gives the whole thing away, if you know to watch for it. You never meet. Not in person, not ever. There is always a reason, and the FTC has cataloged the reasons, because they repeat. They say they are in the military, stationed far away. They say they are working on an offshore oil rig. They say they are traveling abroad for work. The story sounds impressive, even romantic, but every version does the same job. It explains, plausibly, why this person who loves you can never quite stand in front of you. The video call always fails. The visit always falls through at the last minute. Stay with me, because that pattern, lots of affection and never a face across the table, is the single clearest sign you're looking at a scam and not a sweetheart. Now here's where it turns, and I want you to hear it clearly, without it scaring you. Once you're attached, the money enters. Almost never as a cold demand. It comes wrapped in the relationship. The FTC lists the lies, and they are heartbreakingly ordinary. I, or someone close to me, is sick, or hurt, or in jail. I need help with an important delivery that's stuck in customs. I finally got the money to come see you. I just need help with the plane ticket. And there's a newer one the FTC flags again and again. I can teach you how to invest. The scammer poses as a successful trader, often in cryptocurrency, and offers to show you how it's done. You see your money grow on a screen, so you put in more, but it was never real. Every dollar went straight to them. And notice how they ask you to pay, because this is its own red flag. The FTC says romance scammers want money in ways that are hard to trace and nearly impossible to get back. A wire, through Western Union or MoneyGram. Gift cards, an Amazon or Google Play card, where you read them the numbers off the back. Cryptocurrency. And the FTC's own data shows why this matters. Cryptocurrency and bank wires together account for the most money lost to these scams, while gift cards are the method people report most often. A real partner, someone genuinely in your life, does not need you to buy a stranger gift cards. That's not how love asks for help. That's how a scam collects. So let's get to the defense, because this is the part that actually keeps your heart and your savings whole. And the good news is that it is short, and you can carry it with you. Here's the one line. The FTC puts it as plainly as anything they publish. Never send money or gifts to a sweetheart you haven't met in person. That's it. That is the whole rule. And it holds no matter how kind the messages are, no matter how many months it's been, no matter how real the feelings are on your end. Because the feelings can be completely real, and the person on the other side can still be a stranger reading from a script. If you have not stood in the same room and shaken their hand, the answer to any request for money is no, or not yet. Not cruel, just safe. Now I know what some of you are feeling, because it's the natural thing to feel. You're thinking, but what if this one is real, and I hurt someone good by doubting them? So here's the gentle test that sorts it out, and it costs you nothing. A real person who cares about you will understand you being careful. If you say, I'd love to meet before we go further, a genuine person says, of course. A scammer gets evasive or wounded, or suddenly there's a new emergency that needs money first. Your carefulness is the test. Watch how they react to it. Now here's a quiet second step, and it's the one most people skip because it feels disloyal. Talk to someone you trust. Tell a friend, an adult child, a banker you know about this new person in your life, and say it out loud, including the parts that feel a little odd. The FTC recommends this directly because scams like this depend on secrecy and isolation. Saying it out loud to a person you can see puts a second pair of eyes on a situation your heart has a stake in. And you don't have to feel ashamed doing it. You're not asking permission to love. You're asking a friend to look out for you, which is what friends are for. There's one more move worth knowing, and it's simple. The FTC suggests you do a reverse image search of the person's photos. You take the picture they sent, search for it online, and if that same face turns up under a different name, or it's a photo lifted from someone else's life, you have your answer. A grandchild or someone at the library can show you how in 5 minutes. It won't catch everyone, but when it works, it ends the doubt instantly. And one honest note, because I always want to give you the full picture. These red flags, the fast affection, the never meeting, the request for money, are patterns, not a perfect guarantee, and a patient scammer can wait weeks to seem real. So don't lean on spotting every flag in the heat of the moment, when your feelings are pulling the other way. Lean on the one line instead. It doesn't ask you to judge whether the love is real. It just draws a clear, kind boundary around your money until a real person can meet you. That's why it's the rule that holds when everything else is in doubt. Last piece. If you think you're dealing with one of these, stop communicating with the person and report it to the Federal Trade Commission. Their website is report fraud. That's all one word, .ftc.gov. Report it even if you're not sure, and even if you didn't lose a dime. Your report helps the FTC warn other people and helps spot these networks. And if you did send money, report it anyway, quickly, to the FTC and to your bank, because acting fast gives you the best chance. There is no shame in any of it. The shame is theirs. So let me hand you the thing I promised. Remember the person from the start. The warm messages, the good mornings, the window opening in a cold room. Here's how that story ends now, because you watch this. The messages still come, and they're still kind. And then, gently, the conversation turns toward money, a stuck delivery, a plane ticket, an investment that can't lose. And instead of reaching for your checkbook, you remember one line. Never send money or gifts to a sweetheart you haven't met in person. You don't send it. You tell a friend you trust about the whole thing out loud, and you both take a breath. And maybe you feel a small ache because the attention was nice. But your savings are untouched, your dignity is whole, and you were never foolish, not for 1 second. You were a kind person who learned the shape of a trap. That's the move. Never send money to someone you haven't met in person. Talk to a trusted friend, and if you want to be sure, reverse search their photo. That is the thing I promised you, and now it's yours. Slow is safe. Real love can wait for the two of you to meet. A scam cannot, and that impatience is the tell. And you are not foolish for wanting connection. That wish is a good and human thing, and it is exactly what these people try to use against you. But now you see the shape of it, and you have the one line. Do me one favor. This scam works best on people who've never heard it described out loud and on people too embarrassed to talk about it. So don't keep this to yourself. Send it to someone you care about, anyone who's a little lonely, anyone who's dating online, anyone with a parent who is. You might save someone you love a broken heart and their savings. And if this helped you, tap the like button so the algorithm shows it to another person who needs it. Take care of yourself and the people you love, and I'll see you in the next one.